Hi, kid. Hi, Christian.
Hi, hello,
Hey
Alex. Hello.
there.
How
Happy
are
New
you?
Year for what's left of it.
Oh,
Yes, exactly. Happy New Year, beste wensen.
oh, beste wensen. You're saying beste wensen, the Dutch
Inderdaad.
version. We say exactly the same thing in Afrikaans. Beste wensen. Well, actually, we say gelukkige nuwe jaar of voorspoed vir die nuwe jaar.
Ah,
But yeah, it's kind of the same. At least you don't look like you've gained some weight, kid, from your trip in Sicily.
my trip to Sicily. Well, I'm wearing very many layers because it's cold in the Netherlands. It's
Oh, yeah.
close to zero. But I did gain weight in Sicily.
Oh my God.
And
Oh
Alfonso,
well.
Happy New
I
Year,
Alfonso.
guys.
thank
Happy
you for
New
yourself,
Year.
Alfonso.
Same to you. Thank you.
I just heard that you were in Sicily, kid.
Yes, I came back 3 days ago from 2 weeks in Sicily, where we basically ate our way across the islands, and
I adore Sicily.
uh, well, I do
It,
too now.
it's a great, great, great place.
So,
And what's the best thing you've eaten?
well, I think a pasta, a spaghetti made with sea urchins.
Wow.
Ah,
And yeah, it's very unusual. I mean, I know sea urchin because I eat sushi, and so that brown sushi thing they call uni. And well, apparently in Sicily they like sea urchins as well, and they make a pasta with it, and it was a lightly creamy, yeah, slightly nutty, rich flavor, and that was, yeah, for me the most impressive thing I've eaten. It was really good. I just devoured it.
Wow, that sounds very nice.
Hey, Jeff. We can't see you, but hey,
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
you are on mute, Jeff. So
Now
we
I'm
can
now
hear
I'm
you.
off mute. Everyone, I'm using
Hi, Jeff.
somebody's office,
Oh.
so I can't video the office I'm using.
Are you still sitting like a few floors above the money vault?
Yes, yes.
Ah, okay.
Last 2 days, yes.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think it's great that we can reconvene, and I think um, we have got one urgent thing, and well, two things coming up on us on the agenda. Um,
Would
and
you
the
like to
first,
share your screen, Christian?
yes, let me do that. Let me do that. Thank you, Alex. Um, I'm sure this is working now.
Yep.
Um, and okay, so the presentation on the 17th. So that gives us basically 3 weeks to get that done. So I think that should be an important one. And then the open source summit. Yeah, thanks for bringing that on the agenda, Alfonso. Um, I can't remember now when the closing is for that.
9 Feb. 9 Feb.
Okay, so that's
So
even more urgent in terms of urgency. I wonder if we can handle that first and then do some planning for the presentation. Um,
sounds good. Sure.
The one on the 12th, is that a meetup presentation,
on the
or is
The
this during
17th.
seventh.
our?
On the 17th. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
It's
it's
for some
sorry.
reason it says Cape Town. I've got it here. Can you see this one?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's because
Yes.
I think, Christian, I saw that too. I think it's because you, who are the chair, you are based in South Africa, so they were just like, well, then assign it to the
Okay.
LFDT community that you are probably closest linked to, which is not the case. But yes,
Yeah, well, we've been there. I mean, me and we've actually been there to a live thing
A
once.
lot of times it picks up what you log. When you did this, when you logged on to Meetup, it uses your ID for that location.
Okay.
oh,
I have
okay.
several. Meetup IDs for that purpose.
Oh, okay.
So that's what it
Okay, anyway,
does.
it makes no difference. It's a meetup thing, but it looks like it's going to draw quite a few people.
Yes.
Okay, so it's worth planning well for. I also think we should do a dry run.
And I think we
Maybe.
should prepare really, really great professional material for that thing. Material, well, ideally material that we can also use in subsequent presentations, such as the Linux Foundation open source thing. But yeah, I think we should. I mean, I think this is really, really a great opportunity to get the word out about IR to people who will be, and so we should really do our best to make the most of it.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so I think we're gonna just plan that operationally today, and then we must put in the schedule by next week. What do we want to have by the week after that? Maybe we want to do a dry run then, and then we have some place for refinement. Here is I just want to check what is the requirement for this open
Christian,
source summit.
go to program, click on the program tab there at the top, and then the call for proposals.
Okay, thank you.
All
Okay,
right, there you go. Then you'll be able to see the tracks and everything.
closes Monday 9th. AM 1:59 AM. Okay, well. Yeah, so it's actually Sunday, February. So in other words, actually Sunday evening.
It's the same. They just
Yeah.
they love to confuse the
Yeah.
audience.
You know, we should not think it's open on Monday. We should think it closes on Sunday.
It's the same thing. It's the same date. I checked it.
Okay, so Alfonso, where did you think in what track do you think we
Further down, there's a track about standards. Oh, it says it's there. It's enabling and management, and then you have
standards and
standards and
specifications?
specifications.
I think actually, like the very, Alfonso, if I'm not mistaken, I think you suggested the third one, which is standards for critical and emerging technology, right? Or did you do the first? You suggested the third one, but I was actually thinking it would be really great if we can have a demo. You know, it's also nice. It's always nicer. I want to say like the standards for critical and emerging technology. I mean, you can have a demo there too. I guess you can have a demo there too. But we have also always considered ourselves more of a specification or a framework than a standard. Um, so I thought maybe the first one would be nice.
The audience. Does it say up top who the audience is? So I was just wondering on a demo.
But we can put a nice demo together. I mean, once the presentation of the 17th is over, we have February, March, April, May. We have about 3 months in which we can put together a really nice demo. Maybe maybe make it a very interactive kind of session, actually, or more interactive kind of presentation. That will be the impact of an interactive presentation, kind of in which you involve the audience, tends to be a lot more effective, usually in terms of, how can I say, ROI of time invested in the presentation.
Okay, but I think so. So there's time for that preparation, and we're going to do the presentation on the 17th anyway. So we we will be into that mindset. But what is required by the 9th?
If you go down, it tells you a little bit more.
Preparing to submit.
Well, because I just did one of these things for that big Linux conference, Linux Foundation conference in California, the last week of February, and they had, yeah, here it is, how they want, what level they want, how long, type of questions, panel discussions. So I submitted the digital twin net zero architecture for that summit, or that big worldwide LFT thing out in California.
Yeah.
And they said 30 minutes, and keep in mind the audience, because I submitted it, and then they tell you whether or not it gets approved, because they pay your travel there. I don't know if this is the same thing. Or it's not the same thing, but it's a similar idea. I don't know who's running this open source summit. Is this
Linux
LFTT?
Foundation. Linux
It is
Foundation.
LFTT. What's the difference between that and the big thing at the end of February?
Preparing to submit. Here it is. This
Okay, Christian,
submit.
may I quickly share my
Types.
screen?
Sure.
Okay, let me just quickly, because I clicked the submit proposal button at the top, and to see what they require. Are you seeing my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so I had to register for the sessionized thing, and then apparently this is the page where you submit a proposal for a session.
Yeah, you don't have to. I don't think you have to do much.
1,200 characters with a description.
Session description. 1,200 characters.
Which track, audience level, benefits to the ecosystem. They don't have a character count specified. Presented this talk before. No. Interested in speaker office hours. Meet equity is dedicated. Okay, interesting. Code of conduct. Are you both as a big biography? What is Fediverse? I don't know, but it's not required. Speaker title. Do you require travel between
Is this
So
thing
it looks like the main thing is the
benefit
description of
ecosystem?
1,200 characters, and then the benefits to the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yes.
And is this an in-person thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I think our Western Hemisphere colleagues should take the lead on this thing. It's in Minneapolis.
Yeah, where eyes have been shooting people. But anyways, that's
Plus,
Oh,
I assume it's May. Okay, you don't want to go to Minneapolis right now. Minneapolis, like I'm in Chicago, so every day the high is 10 Fahrenheit. And Minneapolis has been even colder. It's very, very cold here.
how far is that from you, Jeff?
Minneapolis.
Oh, it's not far at all. It's just like a 4-hour drive, 4.5-hour drive. It's not even worth flying there a lot of times, because door to door it's the same or less. It's
Yeah,
yeah, it's a different world from the Chicago area because of the size difference.
and
But
I haven't checked. Is this thing in person only? It's not an online thing.
I think they are, because again, I submitted that one for that big Linux thing in California at the end of next month. And there's a lot of speakers, you have to travel there, and they'll pay it. They asked me how much my travel expenses would be.
Yeah, in the for this one I checked on the page, they said, yeah, because I looked at the travel funding thing and they said they won't be funding everybody's, they'll only be funding intended to community that they would otherwise be unable to attend due to we place an emphasis on funding for applicants who are from historically underrepresented or untapped groups. If you work for a company that has the ability to fund your travel, we ask that you do not apply for funding. So it's not, the funding for this one is not guaranteed.
But I mean, I would suggest. I'm not sure that what you guys think. I
I
think,
think we should apply for
and then
I mean,
who presents? Alfonso or Jeff?
Alfonso, will you be able to travel to Minneapolis?
If they pay.
Yeah, if they fund it, yes.
Yeah, well, I think Alfonso is a long-standing contributor to the Linux Foundation, so
Yeah,
So
they
either
once
Alfonso or Jay.
they once want me to go to Basel. Okay, from here to Basel for one of the big events of LFDT. I think we should apply because we would have something ready for other presentations. Okay.
yeah.
And it's always good to have that ready for more presentations.
If we say they asked, have you presented this before? Oh, but there's the application deadline of 30 March.
Yeah, but that's for the travel funding. So it's
Okay.
okay. It's actually, we can submit the proposal, and then if we do get accepted, then maybe we
We apply
can,
for the travel fund.
yeah.
Okay. They ask, have you presented this before? One of those, let's just
Have
look
you
at that.
presented this? Have you, presented this talk?
Well,
No,
so
not really.
it must just be so much, I mean, must just not be the exact same thing that we're going to do at the meetup. It must be related, but not the same thing.
That's why I think if we can make it more interactive for the OSS one, for this one, then it will be different from the presentation that we will be giving on the 17th.
Okay.
If we apply for the 30-40 minutes presentation, I think we would, with luck, we could be in a general audience presentation. And so it would be a challenge, a nice challenge, Alex, on how to make it interactive. Because it would be a presentation to a large audience. But
Yeah,
if we solve it, it would be very interesting. But just
But I
keep in
think
mind that
it's something that we can. I think I'm fairly confident that we can have something by May that is of that is of good quality and that we can work with. Okay, so let's but I just want to look at the calendar. So by
What
the
if we just a loose thought? What if we apply for a tutorial?
That would be a small group in a small venue, in a small room. Okay.
Oh, okay. So the reach won't be much.
So a session presentation or a panel discussion.
No, panel discussion. This is similar to the California one I keep talking about. So the panel discussion, there's some requirements around that one if you dig down. I don't know where it is. First of all, in panel discussion, you have to list the people that are running it, and then it has to be a diversity requirement met. So female, I'm serious, females. Alfonso, maybe you know if you've done this before.
Yeah.
They want they require a diverse group of people. That's only one on those sections where they require that. I don't know why, but
If we coordinate the panel, you're right. What I was thinking is that we could maybe offer possibility of participating in a panel that deals with this kind of issues. So someone else if there's someone else is coordinating it and our theme is relevant for that panel, that would also be an option as a participant of the panel. Because we don't have time now to do it as an organizer of the panel. We should think for some other places, no, because it would be very good if we could have a panel that includes people from the standard bodies, from the main users, because then we start discussing what we've done in the line of Alex interaction with the audience.
how would you do for this? How would you do a hands-on lab? How would you do that?
You're asking me or Alex?
Anybody?
Jeff, I think since we last met, I spent quite a lot of time in working on the application of what we've done in the context of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And for example, formulating indicators and trying to structure that process a little bit. So I think you will do that. I think what you'll do is you'll describe let's say the logic of the ontologies and the basic concepts, and then you'll take an application like, for example, let's say we are now going to report on SDG 11 indicated 2. What is that, what is required? What does that data pipeline look like? What does the data structure look like? And what are all those things? So you'll take something, something almost a concrete example of something that's already defined. I think that those things, the UN, they really have a refined system there of targets and indicators and metadata calculation methods. All of those things are really well documented. And I think maybe you'll go through. So it's hands-on in the sense that you can show how for a specific type example, what the data structures will look like, and maybe what advantages that may have above another approach. But I do think that the hands-on experience, the hands-on expectation of people in a context like that is you have to show them this is an app or piece of software. You do this, then it does that.
Oh, okay.
So, but I think we can work through a series of examples or show what the what or simulate some application of it. But since we don't have an application per se, the expectation of what the demo is may be may not be met by what we are going to offer. So maybe that's a tutorial and not a hands-on. A tutorial is how to apply this to your example. Because in a certain sense we have conceptual technology. But the question is obviously how do you make that practical?
Yeah,
But
I don't. Okay, yeah, because it's used in the digital twin, this ontology. But you've got a data hub that accepts a lot of stuff coming in from APIs, ERP systems, IoT systems, and so on and so forth. And it comes into this data hub. And the logic in the data hub uses the ontology to formulate how the data should be represented, how it's tied. And then it also decides whether or not it's a transaction for the blockchain or it goes to the database. So it's not running all the way right now because I haven't had time to code it, but is that the kind of application you're talking about? It could show something live because I've got simulated
yeah,
data that comes in IoT devices and ERP systems and manual entries and scope 3 vendors sending information back on what the scope 3 was, which is a real key. So I submitted the solution architecture to that group and that big conference at the end of February. And I submitted it in December and I put my travel expenses in there and I actually put I only fly first class, which is true. And I didn't hear anything from them. And there was a date that you're supposed to hear something from, and I didn't hear nothing. So then they came back about a week and a half ago and said, we've accepted, we want you to present this thing in California. Well, unfortunately, I planned a vacation. I didn't hear nothing from them, so I planned a vacation that same week. So I can't go to the Linux one. So I sent them a note back and said, I can't attend because I didn't hear nothing. So they might you submit me on there, they might be mad at me.
but
They're gonna have to, okay.
there's nothing that says we can't do a session presentation on let's say on the broader conceptual stuff and then a lab presentation on the digital twin application. There's no, I mean, that's actually a nice pairing of
Right.
the of that would actually be almost, especially since you've already prepared it. Or
Yeah.
already thought about it. I would almost think if we can go for a session where we talk about the process and the result and so forth, and then have a lab type of thing where a specific implementation is being looked at, that would actually be nice.
Well, I have the designs all done and they're physically done. Just parts of it has not been coded. I was gonna do part of a demo for that thing in California, but I think they wanted higher level people there. So um yeah, anyway. Would it be ready to demo that in May? Probably. That's out there always May. But um anyway, this seems very similar to the thing. The thing in California seems like it's an enormous audience. Um and you have to be there in person. And it's the same submission types. It's almost identical. They don't have a lightning talk and they have a panel discussion session. They have this birds of a feather. I was going to look it up and say what the hell that was, but there's no lab or a lightning talk in the one in February. This seems more technical, this open source summit.
Okay, so let's just come to a conclusion about the next step. Shall we try for a session presentation And Jeff, you consider whether you additionally want to go for a lab as well.
We can always,
You can change. You can actually change these, by the way. That's what the other one said. I read in detail the rules around the one in February, and it said that you could make changes to the submissions to your presentation if you decide you want to do a lab, and then all of a sudden decide no, and you go back to presentation. They're interested in your topic. This is options for the presentation, but the interest in the topic doesn't change based on what you pick for the submission type.
Why don't we do the two options, Jeff?
yes, we do both. That's
we
what
could ask,
that's
we
what
could
I would,
ask,
yes.
yeah, we could ask for we could do the session presentation and require fill the form. And you could also do the hands-on lab, Jeff, as part of the same
Oh, I see what you're
group,
saying. Yeah,
but
yeah.
two different persons from the same group doing a double presentation, which makes sense.
Do you do two submissions then, Alfonso?
Yes, I think so.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
you would do one submission, Jeff. So you would fill in this form, and you would be selecting. What do they have there? Do they even have that? Yeah, you would be filling in this form for the tutorial hands-on lab, and then Alfonso or Christian so will be filling in this form for the session presentation.
Yeah. Okay, and that's before the 7th.
Let's use some of the material that we already have. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, from the blog post and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I think for the next 3 weeks we should have, we should have a weekly, if we can keep this, if we can meet weekly for the next 3 weeks, I think, well, for the next 2 weeks, because the third week we're going to do the presentation at the meetup.
Right.
Which I think we are halfway now. We must go to that point. So we do have a way forward. Maybe we can prepare the content offline, share it a bit, and then we can fill it in after we've refined the text.
Yes, for this, I agree.
For this, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
For this, yes.
So you're saying wait till after the 12th. Okay.
No, we must. No, what I mean is, no, we must do this. We must do this before the 7th. That means in 10 days.
9th.
No, I meant the whole
Right.
rollout of the. You're talking about like a practice or something?
Yes, but I think so for the North America Open Source Summit, what I propose is that we prepare the text that goes into this form just on a separate thing and circulate the emails and just refine that text. And when everybody's, when we've sort of reached a consensus, someone just fills it in. So just copy and paste it in.
Yeah.
And then,
So Christian, would you be able to initiate that email thread for this one for the presentation, and then Jeff can initiate the email thread for the labs form?
Sure.
Okay, cool. It's literally just the description and the benefits to the ecosystem. Where is
If
it?
you don't mind pasting that link, that sectionized Open Source Summit North America, or maybe I can just type it here in the chat.
If I can find the message, but the Zoom, I'll stop sharing. It's in the way.
Okay. Okay, so now, thanks, Alex. Let me just open that. I'm going to watch one more tab. Where is my Zoom? Okay, now we have to think about in 2 weeks, that's 14 days, we have to have this meetup presentation. Let's just see what we were advertised as. So I'm just going to share my screen here, and then we can just. IR, an open source semantic framework for universally interoperable impact data. Okay, that's a nice title. It's a big promise as well, but I mean, let's
But it's
go.
true.
Yeah, no, that's what we want. So I mean, it's
The
fine.
fact that it's semantic and an actual formal ontology makes it by
Makes it
default universally interpretable.
yes, yes. So yeah, so interpretable. Yeah. Okay, so that's great. That's what we want. So the title is nice. Climate and sustainability projects generate vast amounts of impact data, but too often the data is hard to compare, investigate, and audit. Different projects use different terms, schemas, and structures, even when they are measuring the same underlying phenomena. This fragmentation creates friction for integrators and limits meaningful global cross-platform impact accounting. On this date, that's us. This will present. So that's us as a group. Will present the ontology suite as an open source semantic frame designed to address the challenge. Developed over 4 years through rigorous bi-weekly working sessions and multiple redrafting cycles, the AI suite provides a coherent and extensible foundation for expressing impact data in a universally interpretable way. The first public release published on 16 September complies 4 modular ontologies. Join us for an overview of how IA can help your impact data become more interoperable, auditable, and reusable. So I think the sort of we have to present IA and then we have to answer those questions. And here we are, all of us.
So one thing I've been... No, sorry, Christian, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was at the end of my thought anyway. So I think we should maybe just broadly structure the outline, and then in this week we must sort of create and refine the content, and by next week we should have a more refined set of slides. I wonder if we can start a GitHub repo and start building the slides on the GitHub. Do you guys use Markdown for slides? Like one of these Markdown formats like...
Yes, but I have to admit, it doesn't always look great. It really doesn't always.
What's it called? Markdown?
Markdown. It's just it's the same thing that you have in GitHub. You know, when you write the README, it shows up on the screen as formatted like with headings and everything. You can do the same with a simple text, and you just have like 3 dashes, and then it starts the next slide. And
Is that good for technical drawings? You're saying, okay.
yeah, so we can put it on Git, and we can all work. Or we should just use does Google Docs have a slide version?
I'm a Keynote guy. On Mac, Keynote.
Okay, but can we use that? I mean, is that something that all of us can collaborate on? You know, like
Google
if you got a
Slides
Google
is
Doc.
collaborative. Google Slides.
You store it out in the cloud, then the Google Cloud.
What?
Yes, as far as I know, Google Slides can export to Keynote. So we could work on that collaboratively because it's in the cloud. And then when it's done, it can be exported.
That would be nice. Does
Yeah,
Keynote have nice formatting?
Yes. So maybe, I mean, just to work around the basic idea, the content, the basic content. We can maybe do that in Google Slides, and then the refinement we can do in Keynote.
I'd like to share
Sure.
something we've done for a long time. There's an old method in television. It's called the minute by minute. Okay. And basically it's a way of outlining the whole program that you're going to have for production purposes. So I think we should start with a minute by minute outline of our presentation. And from that outline, then we can go two ways. One is the content, which is right with what you're saying for Google Collaborative, what have you. And the other thing that we should do is to have a template for all the slides, okay? And I can share templates. There are plenty of templates, but I have my own, okay, with Keynote. So, but if we start with the minute by minute, we are producing the program, okay? And we have that structure for planning. And minute by minute does exactly that. It tells the minute who starts, who says, who talks, who's responsible for that content, who's responsible for that graphic images, whether it's slides, video, what have you. And so it's an outline.
And how does the format look? Do you literally write the minute and then you write person and a summary of what the content of that minute is?
It's a table, and one column is like timestamps, okay? And the other one is the content, and then you have the responsibles for that content. And that's what production uses for the production and also for the control during the program, to give the entrance to whomever is going to speak. And so we all know, we all have that minute by minute. And we have the keys, the cues for entering and for exiting. And so we are coordinated as a TV program.
I like that, and then but then it also follows we must do a practice round.
Yes, and what I do with my mentorship program, we normally have 3 presentations every year, and normally we have, well, the mentees, they're very young. I have 2 presentations and then a dry run, and then the final one. Okay.
Okay. So so just in terms of the logistics of collaboration, we can create a Google Sheet with that minute by minute.
Yes.
And we can do that in the next few days.
Yes, and then go 2 lines, one for the content and the other one for the graphics.
Okay. I think for the graphics we should lean on people with talent in that field, which would be you.
Well, you can always have a crazy architect.
Yes, but then So
yeah, I'll gladly do that.
Okay. Okay, so it feels to me like we are I just want to look at the time here. Does it say? Oh, it's an hour. The whole thing is an hour.
30 to 40 minutes.
That's 30 to 40 minutes.
That's what you're talking about. You're talking about the meetup, right?
Yes.
The meetup is an hour, but normally we spend about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the region. 5 minutes for Latin America, 1 minute for
Germany,
for Sweden. Okay, to wait, and then there is the introduction. Okay, so there you have 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, to start, and then it's about 30 to 40 minutes for the presentation, because you want to have at least 15 minutes for Q&As and for dialogue.
Discussion. So shall we target, if we target 30 minutes?
Yes.
If we target 30 minutes and we overrun by 3 or so, then it's not a disaster, then, Okay, so we
Yeah, because as you're talking, you're going to see in the chat box people asking questions and they'll start piling up. And so I don't know, Alfonso, what do you think? Sometimes the ones I've been in, they stop halfway through and say that we're going to pick up on some of these questions now, and then they continue for the whole hour.
That's up to us to decide, but you're pointing out something that is important. One of us should be helping whomever is presenting with the chat, with the Q&A in Zoom, but also with the chat in the YouTube streaming. Okay. At least for me, it's very difficult. If I'm speaking, I cannot concentrate and read at the same time chats, QAs. And so what I always do is I have someone that helps just with the chats and the Q&As. And then the same person or someone else can help with all the links to all the references and documents. And so as the conversation goes on, presentation, dialogue, whatever, someone can be posting in the chat the links to the relevant information.
Yeah, or answers to some of the questions saying this was already talked, it's being talked, this will be in 5 minutes, this will be talked. You can cut through a lot of them. That's what I've seen on the meetups.
Yes. And the other thing that is very good is that we should have the presentation at least a couple of days before ready. And we should send it to David Boswell so
Good
that
idea.
he makes it available in advance. Okay. And not only the slides, but any resources, reading resources, so that whomever enters the meetup can listen, participate, but also access resources, okay, that are relevant for the theme.
Okay,
Yep.
so there's actually quite a bit of preparation. There's actually quite a bit of preparation in the next 3 weeks. And basically, if I understand you correctly, we should have pretty much the content sorted out within a week and a half or so from now, and then it's practice and refinement and stuff.
Yeah.
And going yeah,
I can start with a minute by minute if you want, and with the slide template. And if someone can help with the Google collaborative space, okay. And I think
I'm gonna. Sorry, Alfonso, go on.
No, one week for getting the content, another week for getting it in the right format for presentation, and then we have the dry runs.
Okay, I've created a spreadsheet, a Google sheet there. It's 7 February. When is it? 7 or 9? 17. Okay, so there's a link there in the. Let's just. I just typed I mean, you can delete. You can delete.
Can you give us access?
Oh,
The Google Sheet, please.
yeah, okay, and that I think I'm gonna make that. Anyone with link can edit. Okay. Okay, so we should not let the link lie around, but so afterwards maybe is this chat going to disappear afterwards? I'm sure it is.
Yes, but I already got the link. Okay, so this is the minute by minute. Okay.
Okay, so basically we've got a place to work now, and we've got more or less an idea of from my side. I'll start thinking about content wise, what and when we have the Alfonso, you must say uh, if you want us to build a. I'm not sure how how nice the round trip from a Google slide to a keynote thing is, if you can export and just
Well, it's always complicated, okay?
yeah,
And because there are funds that one has and the other one doesn't, I would say that the production of the slides should not be collaborative, but it should be just a task done by one. Okay,
okay,
I can do it. Once we have agreed on the content.
on the content, yeah, okay. So
Let's
we can
agree on the
provide the
content.
content in plain text.
Yeah. And then using a template, we collaboratively can decide about the template, the background, all the things. But then the production, graphically it's easier to do one.
To be one, yeah. No, I think we have actually in our company we have a information business unit. That's my unit, and we have a presentation unit. That's a
Oh,
different.
good.
And
Good.
they are always saying to me, my stuff doesn't look nice, and I must give them more time and stuff. So I'm used to creating content and giving it to someone else to make it presentable.
If you want them to do the presentation,
No. What I'm
visuals,
saying is, I want you
please.
to do it, but I'm used to giving content in plain text, and then other people
Yeah.
make it look beautiful.
Linux has that. So we made the supply chain ebook a year and a half ago. We took it and gave David Boswell, I think he gave it info, and then there's some group in Linux, they took the content and some little pictures and they made this very fancy presentation with the ebook. So some group in Linux did all that. And it looked really nice. What's that?
But I trust Alfonso more.
So do I.
No, they are really good. The issue is that, well, I've been with LFDT, Hyperledger, whatever, for 9 years. Plenty of meetups, and they never helped us.
Yeah.
Okay, they do it for like a book. Okay.
Yeah, okay. But when we get to the
You're right. Yeah.
when we get to publishing the course material and stuff like that, we'll make use of that.
Mainly, what it would be very good is if they have within the branding, they have visual guidelines. Then
Yes,
it's very important.
I
Okay,
actually
and
believe
and
that
we
they
use
do
it.
have something. I remember that. Alex, do you
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
There is a.
Yeah, that's good. Your Alfonso's right. That's what they did with the ebook. Was a lot of it was around the branding. Yep. Reminds me of that
It's
now.
a branding. It's a branding that they do quite well. But guys, I have to go, unfortunately.
Okay. I have to go as well. Okay, but I think we've got that. We have a way forward, and we'll be in contact over the next few days via email, and then we see each other next week, same time, same place.
Very good.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Nice seeing you again.
Bye-bye.
Nice seeing you guys.
Goodbye.
Big hug. Big hug to everyone.